it's based on the context. Let me go one by one. So who? It's something like a users. So you have the different kind of user here, you can see. So you have contractor, you have a guest, you have employee. So you have different kind of network devices. And ISE is integrate with the Active Directory or any database servers. So it also has the session database. So whenever the user connected to the network with a different media, so it maintains the session database. So let us say the user 1, it's connected on the switch. So it is a contractor. Everything is located in the ISE with the session database. The second one, the user B is connected via access point. So it's something like a guest. The third user is connected on the VPN. So this is employee. So each and every user, here you can see, so what kind of policy based on the authentication mechanism as well as the database servers, it will push to each and every individual users. So it maintains the user context. This is a one, who. And the next one is a what. So it's something like a new to every network devices, like it detect the devices based on the type. So let us say you have here you have IP phone, you have camera, you have different kind of users, like you have Apple users, you have Windows-based users. So this is everything is based on the profiling, what we call. It's something like ICE will always consider any phones it comes, is it based on the MAC address? It will identify whether it's a Cisco IP phone or other vendor IP phone. If it is Cisco IP phone MAC address, then it's true, then it's going to the Cisco IP phone profile. Then based on that, it will give the policy, that means the authorization. So if it is the Cisco IP phone, so what kind of VLAN I have to specify, that means what kind of access I have to give to that particular device type. So how the ICE will come to know all the MAC address is simply like a cloud. So everything, so ICE always connected to the cloud and get updated every based on the schedule, and it will get updated in the database and all the MAC address based on the different vendors. This is how it works. So ICE has to connect to the internet, get the latest update from the clouds. So hello. What happened?
Mahathir, you take back the host. Somebody took it. Take back here. The presenter.
Yes, yes. I'm not getting the presenter.
Yeah. No, you are presenter. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the device type, which we discussed right now. So the third one is the when. So in the device type where you can see the endpoint profile here. So you have Cisco IP phone, Cisco camera, Apple MacBook, Microsoft Workbook. So this information, it's predefined in the Cisco ISE when you see the logs. So everything is get updated from the cloud. The third one is the time. So the time is something like your network device and the ISE, everything will get integrated with the NTP servers. So whenever any endpoint is connected to the network device and ISE, so everything is tracked based on the time. The fourth one is the where, that means the location. That's an important thing. So based on the network device group, in ICE, we can label the location. So we can tag and we can specify the authorized based on the request which is coming from the source. Let us see in this example. So you have two users. One is from the Harry, another one is from the Allies. This is the AnyConnect, which is the client which required to do the poster and other features, which we'll talk about later in this session. So here you can see there is a AP, okay, which is coming. This is a AP, wireless AP. So it's called as a called station ID, which is coming from the San Jose on the floor 19. So if the user is moved from different floors, so ICE always will consider that user is moving from one floors to other floors, and based on that, it will detect the user in the location tag. So that is something like we call as the AP called station attributes in the wireless. So everything is monitored and predefined based on the location when the user is moved one place to another place in the networks. The other one is called Cisco MSE, that means Mobility Service Engine. So the physical location of the client change authorization as the endpoint moves. This is the other feature which has in the ICE. Let me go to the other slide where you can see. Yes. Yes. So this is the one where when the mobile device, so right now we are seeing only the systems and the laptops. So when the mobile device is moved, then these kind of feature will enable and identify the mobile device when it's moved from one floor to other floors. The fifth one is the access type. So here you can see how you can connect to the network. So either you can connect to the network via wired or wireless or through the VPN from the remote location or from the home you can connect to the networks, your corporate networks. So I always consider these three types. So it's work based on the radius which we discussed earlier, the type of protocol which allow for the network access. So based on the radius type, we have two kind of option, the authentication mechanism, which is called .1x and the map. This two mechanism is very important for the access type. So when you have the .1x, it's very simple. It's open standard. Okay. So based on the .1x mechanism in the switch, it will allow the user. The same way, based on the .1x mechanism in the wireless, it will allow the user. But if you go with the map, it's something like only the machine authentication. So based on the MAC address of each and every devices, okay, the ICE will consider the identity and it will allow the access. So this is how the access type is work. So the best context one from the ICE is compliance. So far we have seen who, what, and when, okay, and what type of access. But compliance is nothing but each and every device, like it's connected to your network. Okay, so you have the mechanism like all the user-based and the machine-based authentication, everything is done. But I want to know their compliance, means whether they are they have the latest updated one, or they have the latest antivirus which is updated. So all the rules you can make it in the ICE and you can validate before the user connect to your network after the authentication. So if the user is compliant, like let us say the first user, so he has the latest the antivirus, but the antivirus is not updated. That means, so the ICE will send to him as a quarantine VLAN where he can get updated with the latest patch or latest antivirus signature from the antivirus server. Once it's get quarantine, then it will allow the ICE will allow the user to connect to the network. So how the ICE will know all the vendors, antivirus, and the patches details, everything from the cloud. So ICE is supported all the vendor, antivirus, anti-malware, and the Windows-based uh, updates. So each and every day or based on the schedule, it will get updated from the cloud. So when the user comes, based on your policy, so ICE will check the health of the each and every users. If they are matching to the particular profile, then it will allow. So here you can see, so how many user is compliant, how many user is not compliant. So this is something like an antivirus. How about the Windows updates? So ICE will integrate with the Microsoft SCCM servers, where it will keep on check what is the latest update, and it will check the end user if they are get updated with the latest KB to connect to the network. So this is how it works. So if the latest OS patch and the antivirus is updated, then they are compliant. Then what is the authorization policy I can specify? If they are compliant, then they can have the full access. If they don't comply, I'll assign for them a quarantine VLAN. That means they can only get update to the particular signature or patch from the particular servers. Once everything is compliant, then the ICE will allow to the full access. This is the compliance. So here you can see. So the same way for the MDM at the mobile. So ICE also will check the on-prem MDM integration. So it will check if they are all the mobile devices is compliant. Then it will give the access to the devices. So it will give the access to the network devices. So whatever they want. The same thing, you can bring your own device. So there is other concept which will, instead of giving the corporate laptop or desktop or systems, you can bring your own device, but you have to meet certain condition. If the condition is matched, then the ICE will allow them to access certain applications. So those kind of rule, you can make it in the ICE. The other one is application. So ICE is not only monitoring and maintain and control the policy to the end user, so it will also control the application. So part of the compliance feature, like we have seen, like antivirus should be updated, and the operating system should get updated with the latest security patch. So the same way, the poster policy of the ICE to mandate the allowance of specific applications. So the agent which we are installing to the endpoint to visualize the application in real time and to kill non-compliant ones. That means if the application is non-compliant, here you can see, so you have Adobe Update Helper. So if the application is non-compliant to the ICE, then the agent will kill this one. Then only they can able to access the network. This is the application level security. Okay, so we have everything, like all the process. So now coming to the vulnerability. So this is again the other feature which you have in the ICE. So what you will have? So if the user is trying to access, so ICE will give it will try to check what is the Harry one. Then it will try to send the scan to the Harry endpoint. an on-prem scanner. That means it will keep scanning the whole system, okay, and it will send the report to the sandbox. That means the cloud. So ICE is integrated with the sandbox. So this Rapid this is another one of the vulnerable tool, Rapid 7. So what it will do, it will scan to the user and it will send the report, and the ICE will again push the policy to the user, okay, so for the quarantine. So once the scan is done, then the ICE will give the full access to the network. So it is an on-prem scanner. So you don't need a separate tool where you can do the scanning to the endpoint, whether they are vulnerable to connect to the network. So this is another feature.